This here is like a little thing that I do to save time on some of these front and backs. If you notice, I've got an old positive taped down to cover up the back. I just finished the fronts. You can take that off, throw it away without ever getting ink on you. And I tape the bottom off since I'm done with it now. And normally I don't flip screen since I'm a side holder, side clamp press, but this is the way I printed these positives. Had a brain fart. And then see, I flip it around, I take, line it up to a piece of paper, this thing right here is this job that I'm putting a picture up on. What I'm going to show you, so many people ask about my teeter-totter, and I use it on just about all of my manual printing. These are the old little bitty hole 230 screens. They're wood frames, and two of these is more than 10 years old, and it's still tight enough to do a teeter-totter. If you keep command of your squeegee and your angle and finish the stroke like I say all the time, you can get by with doing it even with a looser screen. But I print both directions, and like I said, this is a tiny hole 230. Print, flash, print the white. And see, when I go back with it that way, that, in my mind, that rolls more ink versus the other way. And now this here's Rutland Snap White straight out of the bucket, so it's not as thin as what most whites I print with, but it's opaque, and it flashes really fast. That's the only reason I pay so much more for it than the Street Fighter that I was using. Now when you're printing, you should be able to see a place in the screen when you pick it up that doesn't clear. Everything you want to do is you want to put ink on the shirt, but whatever your emulsion over mesh, EOM or OEM, whatever it is, dictates the ink layer thickness. And see, really the only thing I'm doing by using the screen and the ink that I'm using is I'm pretty much just dyeing the shirt. Naturally, white ink, you have to cover the shirt. But now on colors, on a light color, I print it like I'm dyeing the shirt instead of putting ink on it. But remember that squeegee angle. If you start trying to print some of this to where you're at this accelerated squeegee angle, you're gonna really mess up a lot of stuff. But I mean, the squeegee's your brush. You use it like you would the end of your finger. Learn where that edge is and use the edge, and then depending on the diameter of your blade, you're also using the flex. With these 80, 90, 80 tri-blades, you got to really get on it to get much flex. So that lets me use just the angle that's bottom of that squeegee. And you know, I mean, they need to be sharp. I mean, I use rounded off ones. I keep squeegees until they break. As they go from new to halfway to wore out, I use that durometer and that edge for something else. Because, you know, you can go all the way to, on some effects, you can use a completely rounded squeegee. So there's uses for all that, but it's in what ink consistency you print and pretty much how you put it on the shirt. But this shirt here, I mean, the hand on it, you can feel the white because it's print, flash print, but it's not much of a lip there. The green and the black are so soft that the only way you can feel the ink is just by the friction from the shirt to the top. So you can compete with those water-based guys. You can compete with anybody out there just using plastisol inks, or you modifying the ink to do what you want it to do. I mean, that's the only thing they do in the lab. I'm just the second lab the ink's gone through. This is what this one looks like. Like I said, I mean that's white where it's supposed to be white, it's green and black where it's supposed to be, and it's a super soft print. Okay, watch this here. This is gonna be a little shaky. I'm gonna hold the phone and do it, but these are the backs that come out. You know, I always talk about, if you're printing a lot of shirts, print that size and then pick up. That way you don't have to look at all the tags. You're doing a few shirts and naturally you're just going to let them fall. But whichever way they fall, if you pick them up out of the box and turn them whichever direction works, every one of the labels be right there on top for you to pick through going through those shirts. It isn't all this picking it up, trying to find the neck and all that stuff. All that stuff is something you can do real easy on yourself now, and it increases your speed when you start doing real big numbers.